beyond the title of Mrs. South Africa semi-finalist, um, let's start a bit about your background. What led you into this incredible journey? Let's begin from there. Background first, and just please elaborate. Who is Rea Seabela?
Yeah, so obviously, like you said, my name is Rea Seabela, and I'm from Vosloorus. I'm born, bred there. I'm a girl that really actually, I was in a corporate space. I was a general manager, so I'm a former general manager and a former operation manager in retail, general manager in the health and fitness industry. And how my journey started, I basically am an actress. So that's where I wanted to start to be an actress. And things just started unfolding as you are in an acting or entertainment industry. I then, in my acting, career, I was enrolled with Market Theatre Laboratory, where I studied my part-time basic or foundational acting. And because of that theater space, then I started creating some of my play with my friend called Tandazo, and we created this amazing play called I'm Stranded, and that's how I became a theater maker actually. So now I'm an actress, theater maker, and a podcaster. So how I started with podcasting as well, it was through actually theater. I made a good friend of mine who is Renee, who we studied together in level two. And she was a podcaster and she was selling her podcasting equipment. And I was like, no, give me your podcasting equipment. I'll hold on to it to them. And whenever you need them, maybe you can get them back. But she never looked back. She did tell me that she will not come back into podcasting. And that's how I started my podcast. And my podcast is called Woman of Controversial Engagement, that is woke, Rea Seabela. And that's how then I started being in the public eye, that is being invited to different events to cover for them as a media coverage. And guess what? In 2024, I was doing a coverage for Mrs. South Africa, and I interviewed some of the ladies. I interviewed Nasisi, and I got interested into, what is Mrs. South Africa about, you know? And then after I've done their final, so I was invited in their final, and I saw this beautiful, journey of where they've started as Mrs. South Africa semi-finalist to finalist, and to the actual crowning of Aaron. And I got interested because uh, one of the prizes for Mrs. South Africa was to building a brand, And with building a brand, I was like, this is a great platform. I'm a podcaster, I'm an actress, I'm in this industry, and I really want to develop my brand. And I was like, no, you know what? 2025, I must definitely enter, you know? And that's how I actually entered Mrs. South Africa. And today I'm Mrs. South Africa semi-finalist 2025. Yeah.
Okay, competing in Miss South Africa is about, it's more than about beauty, right? It's about
Yeah.
leadership, impact, and empowerment. What inspired you to take this journey, and what has the experience been like so far? What challenges have you faced, and what moments have been the most rewarding?
I think the reason why I wanted to take this journey of Mrs. South Africa, firstly, I was thinking, I want to join something where I will belong, I will have good, people around me that will help me build my brand. And yeah, it was exactly that. It was when I came in. Mrs. South Africa is about sisterhood. I meet beautiful sisters within the program already. And that really got me excited about, knowing that I don't have to do this alone. In this industry, the entertainment industry or the arts and culture industry, it can be lonely because of all the no's that you would get. Sometimes you almost feel like, am I not good enough? Am I not doing enough? Am I not worth the industry enough? And because of you, we've been hearing, or I've been hearing many no's as well. I then decided to start my own platform. But, still starting my own platform is not as easy still. You need the support, you need family support, you need friend support. And it became lonelier and lonelier, you know, but trying to develop myself as a brand, it became tough because then you start realizing that everybody's busy chasing their dream. Nobody really pays attention to what you're doing because everybody's in the run or is in the race, if I can put it like that. And I was like, no, I can't be in this race. I'm so tired and exhausted of being in a race and trying to do things by myself. I need a support structure. I need to be held accountable as well. There's so many things that I've started myself. But I mean, really, it's like running your own business. Sometimes you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. I will do it next week. But with Mrs. South Africa, what I really like is we are being held accountable. If you say you're going to do something, you have to deliver at the specific time as well with the highest quality. And not only for the pageantry, but for myself. So I need to show up for myself. So I need to go to business networking for myself. I need to do content creation for myself. And I started really enjoying it because they were holding me accountable for the things that I really postponed for the longest of time. So I think for me, what I've learned this far and what I've benefited this far is showing up for myself as myself in the business.
I like that you mentioned the parts when you said you got helped by your friend Renyelwe, um, because you're in the process of contributing, you're in the process of creating something more valuable, more extreme, more intentional, rather.
Yeah,
Um, so I was busy deliberating or watching this dope interview. I think it was Peniel the Black Pen when he said, he was interviewing a specific gentleman, and he said,
yeah,
when you get stuck on the side of the road, get out of your own car because you'll be surprised to see how many people will pass by and start pushing because they say you're
yeah,
pushing because they see you pushing.
yeah.
So you are gonna get help along the way, along your challenges, along your journey of contributing to something greater. So I think you're doing something special and you're helping a lot of women. Yes, you're helping a lot of women have an impact or do things that are more positive to the society. Um, so can I please get into a specific cause or issue you're passionate of advocating for, and how are you using your platform to make a difference?
So I have been advocating for children that are living with mental impairment. So children with mental deficiency. And because that has been a passion of mine, I've partnered with a school called the Gap College, right? The Gap College is a school that is looking after children with or living with mental impairment. It's a beautiful school. They're teaching children how to read, how to write. It's a good, safe learning space for them. And I really like what they stand for. So many places where we see either physically disabled people or mentally disabled people, most of the places are like sorrowful, or they're like, oh, this is like so sad and so poor and so, underdeveloped, and all of that, and it brings sorrow to us when you visit such places. But when I visited Gap College, I saw life. I saw the beauty of helping a child in a healthy environment, in a place where they knew that it's not about my mental disability. It's not about my surrounding or circumstance, but I come to a school that will empower and help me learn as a mental deficient child. So I advocate for that school, and I advocate for the mental deficient children. So how I partner with them, there's something that I call, on a seminar that I do, and usually I do it in December. It's called Dressed in Confidence, whereby we talk about gender-based violence and femicide, because some of the children that we see that are mentally deficient is because the fetus was affected during the development because of physical abuse, mental abuse, or sometimes, the environment makes the mom, feel down in a way that they will lean on alcohol, and that's when you start seeing children with Down syndrome. So circumstances might lead to different things. And I started then partnering mental deficiency with GBVF. And I do a seminar called Dressed in Confidence to raise funds for the school called the Gap College, as well as when they have events or fundraising, I take part. When they need someone to represent them, as in I am the ambassador for the school, I then help them to look for sponsorship and funds. So that is my role with the school, because it is a big school. I mean, they've got physicians, they've got rehabilitation centers, and I feel that the more they have funds, the more they can absorb children around Johannesburg as well, so that they can be enrolled in a school such as that, with great expertise and great teachers. And it is well led. It is founded and led by Dr. Tracy Stewart, and I've been working with her and the school.
Advice would you give to young women with confidence, self-worth, or fear of stepping into leadership roles?
I would like to say, I always like to say that it starts in small spaces. Confidence starts at a school, confidence starts at a crèche. Confidence then starts at a church, where they will say to you, do we have a volunteer to speak? Do we have a person that would like to do a sketch? Back in our times, So I would like to say it's those small steps that will lead to a bigger or confidence, if I can put it like that. When you are a child that is always participating, always liking to stretch themselves, thinking out of the box and diving into things, you become a better adult, because you grow up with that confidence, right? And what I would like to say to women is, forget about the tough circumstances that you've been through. Instead, take them and use them as a stepping stone, right? You already know, confidence is about knowing your background. Confidence is about knowing your abilities and skills, and using them to your advantage. So what if you come from the rural area? You already know that information, but what can you do to impact other people, to say, yes, I come from a poor background. Yes, I did not have enough resources and funds. I go out and I do it, I would like to share my personal story that, I happened to lose my car, and because of that, I had to start using taxis, I had to start using Uber, but in everything that I've done it. I told myself that nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to do it because I want to achieve it. And when people see, my beautiful pictures on social media, or me going around and talking, it came with a lot of challenges, but I did not allow a circumstance to pull me down. I'm using my circumstances to go out there and spreading the word. So I would like to say to women, young women out there, do it. Whatever your dream is, it's valid. It might take long to achieve it, but do it. There's a scripture that I really, really love, or that God has given to me after I've received my sash as a Mrs. South Africa semi-finalist, is Habakkuk 2 verse 2. It says, I will paraphrase it, but it says that the Lord answered me. So the Lord answered me and said to me, write your vision on a plate, right? And whomever sees it may run with it. And this vision is for a certain time. It's for a certain time. So we've been given a particular vision for a certain time. So you might be good in acting in a certain time, and then maybe God moves you to something else in a certain time, that you become a good presenter at a certain time. So everything that we meet along the way, it's a vision that we need to write, and we must know that it is for a certain time. Yeah.
I like that you said that scripture. I like going back into, because I like reading, books and getting into the studying the mind and the psychology of, human beings, and stuff. There's this great quote that's Miyamoto Musashi, Principle 4 in the 5 Rings. He famously said, think lightly about yourself and deeply about the world. That means you have specifically 1% of the knowledge, and the other knowledge is 99% outwardly. So in order to gather knowledge,
Yeah.
and once you start to understand mathematics, that's why Leonardo da Vinci studied math, studied science, studied architecture,
Yeah.
and combined all those things in order to understand. In his afterlife, he started to understand the whole objective, or the whole goal, or the whole scriptures and everything behind life. What is it all about realistically? Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think it makes sense into studying those things, and it brings joy, and it brings more specifically knowledge, which is very important. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to get into the list of the outcome. What's next for Rea Seabela, and what do you hope to achieve beyond Mrs. South Africa?
Wow, what's next? It's the world is my oyster, right? And at this very moment for me is I'm enjoying the process of Mrs. South Africa developing me, self-empowerment, self-development. So I'm enjoying that part. And when I win the crown, when I win the crown, I think for me, I will believe that it will accelerate and bring a bigger influence in South Africa. So, what is that supposed to mean to me? It will empower me to be able to speak about what I stand for. It will empower me to organize more and more awarenesses about mental deficiency and children living with mental deficiency. It will empower me to have key guest in my podcast, because there's so many people that would like to interview in South Africa, that we want to have, igniting conversations with them. So it will give me the key to be able to invite such key guests in my podcast, to be able to challenge them, to be able to also be the voice of South Africa, or the voice of women in South Africa. It will grant me an opportunity to grow my brand. And when I grow my brand, all my associates grow their brand, and it will enable me to have a voice in South Africa, to be able to speak about the things that are concerning women, things about that are concerning children, and most importantly, things that are concerning actresses and actors in South Africa, or maybe even artists as a whole. Yeah.